Alrighty, good afternoon, Arkansas. This is Assistant Chief Forecaster Ken back here once again. I'm here to give you guys an afternoon update on what's going to be happening across Arkansas as we get towards tonight and into the overnight hours tonight here. So if you're new here, give us a like, a follow. Be sure to share this live video with your friends and family. That way they can stay with us tonight just in case something does happen with this severe threat here, guys. So we've been talking about this for the last couple of days. The risk has been kind of shifting back and forth because of the overall setup here. But you can see this is the severe weather outlook for tonight here. So the margin risk goes for central, western, and down in the southeastern Arkansas. Okay, so that is the low threat for the potential of seeing severe weather. Okay, then you have the slight risk across southern Arkansas and southwestern Arkansas, and then even now we have even as far as southwestern Arkansas, that Miller, and into Lafayette County and far southwestern Arkansas, you have the enhanced risk down there at this point here. Okay, so this is going to go for the potential of hail, potential damaging winds, and I cannot rule out a few tornadoes as well here down here in southwest Arkansas. Also, if you're wondering about other areas in terms of Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, check out Southern Plains Weather Authority. Those guys are going to be taking care of the regional outlook, guys. So active next 2 days for not only for us here in Arkansas, but for the entire Southern Plains is going to be on the way here. So far, this is your severe weather outlook. If you're just now tuning in, the slight risk goes for southwest Arkansas and southern Arkansas, and then the marginal risk up into central Arkansas. We're going to talk about that, and the reason why a lot of people are not talking about it because it's a very low threat here, but here at Arkansas Weather Watchers, we don't ignore the marginal risk, right? Okay, so let's go over and talk about this. So this is a large hail threat for southwest Arkansas for tonight. That is the slight risk of 15% down there in southwestern Arkansas. That goes for near Ashdown, DeQueen, Texarkana, over towards Camden, El Dorado, Magnolia area, and then you have the lower threat, but still there for Little Rock, over towards Mena, the Pine Bluff, down towards the Dumas area at this point. Now, further to the north from there, northern and northwestern Arkansas, northeastern Arkansas, you guys are not under a severe threat. However, I still do think you guys will see some strong thunderstorms up there as we get towards tonight here, because we're going to have a lot of aloft instability. So storms are going to be loud, they're going to be rocking and rolling by the time we get towards tonight here. And I'm going to go over Futurecast as well, so stay with me, guys. If you need timing information, I'm going to go over that here in just a bit as well here. Now, let's talk about this. This is the tornado threat for tonight. As you can see, the tornado threat has been increased significantly from what it was before, where it was just barely in southwestern Arkansas. Now it's been bumped up to near central Arkansas at this point. Okay? The 2%, the very low risk area, please do not ignore that for tonight here. Okay? We're going to have what's called QCS type tornado potential across central and southwestern Arkansas. So basically that means is that if there's any sort of rotation, if it can sustain itself for a good amount of time, then it could produce a brief tornado tonight. So keep that in mind down here in southwestern Arkansas for tonight. Noah's going to be in the studio. He'll keep you guys informed on that. And any live streams, anything for tonight, he'll keep you guys updated with that. But you can see the greater potential down there in southwestern Arkansas. Okay, so we're talking from Ashdown to Queen, over towards the Texarkana area, over towards El Dorado, Camden, and also including Interstate 30, excuse me, down there in southwestern Arkansas. Okay, and then the 2% goes from Mena just to the southwest of the metro right now, and then towards Pine Bluff and over towards Warren. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind for tonight. If any warnings get issued, we will be here. Okay, storms are going to be loud. They're going to be rocking and rolling tonight, so please keep that in mind. Okay, but if any tornado warnings get issued tonight, we will be here. We're not expecting this to be a big outbreak by any stretch of the matter. However, I cannot rule out maybe a tornado warning or two by the time we get towards tonight here. There's a lot of parameters in place today for that potential. Warm front moving north, moisture return coming back into southern and southwestern Arkansas, and then your systems coming out from the west, correct? So that's what we're going to be looking at as we get towards tonight here. Now, a lot of people are probably laughing at it, like, why are you live for a very low tornado threat? Because I've chased 2%. I've chased 5% before. and you can still get a tornado even in a 2% or in a 5%. So that is why I'm live. That is why we're keeping you guys informed with this, okay? So let's go ahead and talk about your Futurecast real quickly here, and we'll switch this over, and then I'm going to go ahead and tackle you guys' questions here, okay? So the Futurecast has been shifted just a little bit. The timing is going to be at the top right corner of the screen, okay? So it's not hard to miss. Just take a look at the top right corner of the screen. I'm going to zoom this down so you guys can see real quickly here what we're looking at, okay? So there is thunderstorm activity right around 1, 2 o'clock this afternoon. Nothing major here, but you can see what happens by the time we get towards 4 or 5 o'clock here. Now, these storms up here in western and northwestern Arkansas, I really wouldn't worry about them too much. By the time we get towards 4 or 5 o'clock, they are going to be loud. They're going to be capable of maybe some hail coming into western Arkansas, northwestern Arkansas, but it shouldn't be anything significant at this point because your warm front is still south of Arkansas at this time, okay? Now, watch as we get towards 7 o'clock. The thunderstorm activity really starts to increase across the area, okay? So we're talking from Harrison to Little Rock down towards southwestern Arkansas here. Now, you see the break in the clearing here, and I'm going to draw this out so you guys can see a little bit better. But this break right in here, down here in southwestern Arkansas, you see these cells start going down here in southwestern Arkansas. This is the potential of possibly a few supercells getting going down here in southwestern Arkansas. We will have to wait and see what happens out there in Texas. Those storms out there in Texas are going to have an effect for us here in Arkansas, okay? So we're going to have to watch that closely. Your warm front is probably draped right there just south of Arkadelphia by this point by 7 o'clock this evening. So warm front's moving north. Those storms in Texas are moving northeast as well here. So as I said before, tonight, if any warnings get issued, we will be here. Okay, this is our first warning to you guys. Trying to give you guys as much heads up as possible. If we have any warnings tonight, we will be here. We will keep you guys updated. Okay, so this is 7 o'clock this evening. And then about 8 o'clock, you can see the warm front really moving northward at this point, okay? So you see the thunderstorm activity really blossoming down here in southwestern Arkansas. This is going to go for potential large hail, the damaging wind potential, and also the tornado potential as well. I know it's low. I know it's not the high-end tornado threat that's out there in eastern Texas right now. But please do not let your guard down tonight, folks, okay? Do not let your guard down, especially if you know anyone that lives on 30 and in southwestern Arkansas, and even in some cases now, potentially trying to make a run for central Arkansas at this point, okay? But then here's what happens by the time we get towards 10 o'clock here. And this is what I'm thinking. By the time we get towards the 10, 11, midnight time frame, this is going to start transitioning over to a damaging wind threat, okay? And you can see the line of storms really starting to get going across western Arkansas by the time we get towards 11 o'clock this evening, all right? So keep that in mind, okay? This is going to push eastward with time. Also, not only the severe threat, but the flooding threat is there as well, folks. You cannot let your guard down with the flash flooding threat. We know we have a lot of people that are here for spring break, that are camping, etc. If any flash flood warnings get issued, do not ignore them. Seek higher ground, okay? This is going to be one of those systems that's not going to get out of here fast, okay? So we're talking some areas 2 to 4 inches of rain, locally higher, especially across central and southeast, central, southern, and southeastern Arkansas, okay? So let's take this out to midnight. You can see a solid line of showers and thunderstorms by this point. Okay, so I'm drawing this out so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. But notice what's going on. These little cells down here in southern Arkansas. You're going to have to watch those cells. Any cells that kind of get going out ahead of the line will have that potential of large hail, possibly some damaging winds, and I cannot rule out an isolated tornado or two tonight, okay? Keep that in mind for tonight here. I'm harping it really closely, guys, so you guys can be aware and updated on this, okay? So just kind of keep that in mind at this point, all right? But you can see this right around midnight and 1 o'clock, the line starts moving eastward, but you can see some of these cells start getting going down here in south central Arkansas. This is where that 5% is at this point, all right? So 1 o'clock, take a look at radar. I'm going to zoom this out so you guys can see a little better. From Mount Home down to Little Rock, down to Texarkana, there's a line of storms by this point. Damaging winds, hail. I cannot rule out that tornado threat. I'm going to draw out where the tornado threat is the greatest, okay? Tornado threat is greater down here in southern and southwestern Arkansas because of the instability. We're going to have to watch it closely as we get towards this evening into the overnight hours. we will be here. Okay, I promise you guys, we're not going anywhere. We will be here. So if you're here, if you're new here, give us a like and follow. We really appreciate that, guys, here. But this is around 2 o'clock in the morning here. And look at this. This is what I'm saying. Even in northern Arkansas, the threat of severe weather is very low, but these storms are going to be loud. They're going to be very, very loud coming in by the time we get towards 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. So keep that in mind, folks, okay? These storms are going to be loud as they're coming in. But you see the deeper cores down here in southern and southwestern Arkansas. This is the reason why I'm saying keep an eye for that, what we call that QLCS type tornado event down there in southern Arkansas. We're going to have to watch it. Warm front moving north, instability coming up north as well. You could see some hail, possibly an isolated tornado or two down here in southern and southwest Arkansas, okay? So keep that in mind for tonight here, all right? 3 o'clock in the morning, line of storms from Little Rock to El Dorado up towards Jonesboro, okay? As I said before, from Little Rock north, the severe threat is very low, all right? But these storms are going to be loud, and I cannot rule out up there in northern and northeastern Arkansas possibly some hail, maybe some locally damaging winds up there, but it shouldn't be anything significant. It's from Little Rock south that's where I'm concerned about. And also, notice something. The line isn't going anywhere fast at all either. This line is going to be pushing through very, very slowly. This is why I'm saying the flash flooding potential is definitely on the table as we get towards night here. 4 o'clock in the morning. The line has barely moved through Arkansas, okay? It's just sought central and south Arkansas with a heavy amount of rainfall. Also, you can see the deeper cores in here. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, by the way. So the severe threat will be gradually decreasing, but we still will watch it. We'll still keep you guys informed, okay? There's going to be a lot of what's called the helicity value tonight, which means there's going to be a lot of rotation in the atmosphere. So any sort of rotation, anything that may potentially do something, Noah's going to go live for it, okay? If I already talked to him about it, I told him, I said, watch out for those storms tonight down there in southwestern Arkansas. Any sort of rotation potential, go ahead and learn and go ahead and go live. That way you guys are informed, okay? So we're not expecting this to be an outbreak. I want to kind of get that clear. This is not going to be a severe weather outbreak like we're expecting down there in East Texas for tonight, okay? However, there is the potential of severe weather on the table, especially from Little Rock south, for tonight here, okay? Also, this is right around 4 o'clock, so 5 o'clock in the morning. Like I said, the line is not going to move through quick, okay? This is going to be a very, very slow drag through Arkansas. This is why I'm very, very concerned about the potential of seeing flash flooding. Down in southern Arkansas, you're in a drought right now, okay? However, if you get a lot of rainfall at a short period amount of time, it's going to lead to flash flooding. So please keep that in mind for tonight here. And also, the damaging wind threat will be there as well here, okay? Drew, that's exactly what I'm going over right now here. Please pay attention to the top right corner of the screen. All your timing is going to be there, okay? So this is right around 5 o'clock in the morning, all right? Keep this in mind. This is dragging very, very, very slowly. This is 6 o'clock. Still right around the vicinity of central, east central Arkansas, down into southern Arkansas here, okay? And then 7, the line is trying to ease its way towards eastern Arkansas. By this point, I think this severe threat will be a little bit on the lower side, given that it's the coolest part of the day. However, the locally damaging wind threat and the hail threat will continue throughout the overnight hours and into the early part of your Tuesday morning here. And then 8 o'clock in the morning, you can see the showers, thunderstorms still continuing across the area. And folks, this is very heavy rainfall going over the same area for a long period of time. I'm very, very worried about the potential of seeing flash flooding as we get towards night here, okay? So not only the severe threat, but the flooding threat will be on the table for tonight as well. 9 o'clock in the morning, there's your line of storms, and you can see very, very slow progression over the last couple of hours here. So 9 o'clock, eastern Arkansas down into southern Arkansas, and then 10 o'clock in the morning, we're talking right there at the Mississippi River, and then down into southeastern Arkansas, okay? So this is going to drag very, very slowly across the Mississippi River, and then in eastern Arkansas right around lunch, and then it should be trying to get out of here by the time we get towards 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow afternoon here. But this is why I'm very concerned about the potential of seeing flash flooding, okay? But then by the time we get towards 1, 2 o'clock, you can see 2 o'clock, it's out of Arkansas by this point. And I cannot rule out, by the way, additional shower and thunderstorm development by the time we get towards tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. This shouldn't pose any sort of major severe threat here in Arkansas, but we'll keep you guys informed. We'll monitor the situation pretty closely, okay? So let's talk about total precipitation here, and I'm going to go ahead and take this out all the way till 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon here, okay? And you can see this is exactly what I'm talking about here, okay? So about 2, 2.5, 3, even in some cases, look down here in southern Arkansas, 4 to 5 inches of rain. It really sucked southeastern Arkansas with 6 to 7 inches of rain down here. This is why I'm saying the flooding threat is just as high as the severe weather threat for tonight here. Okay, the flooding threat is definitely going to be on the table with this event. And as so forth, you guys are in a drought down here in southern Arkansas. All right, you're in a severe drought down here in southern Arkansas. However, all that rainfall in a short period amount of time, it's not going to matter. You're still going to have the flooding potential, okay? So, as I said before, that's what we're going to be looking at tonight. If any warnings get issued, we will be here, okay? So, if y'all have any questions or any comments or anything like that, this is the time now to ask. I'm going to go through the comments real quickly, and then I'm going to try to tackle some questions here, okay? So, will there be any watches later for Central Arkansas? Folks, I'm going to make this as clear as possible. We do not control the watches. We do not control the warnings, okay? We are not National Weather Service. All we do is report. That's all we do. All right? We do not control any sort of watches or warnings or anything like that. All right? We do not know where there's going to be a watch or a warning or anything like that. All we do is report. Okay? I think it's on the table, especially for southwest Arkansas. Central, the severe threat's lower, but it's not out of the table. Okay? If there's going to be any sort of watch, I think it's going to be down here in southwestern Arkansas as we get towards tonight here. Okay, so Justin, thank you for that great comment. Pay attention, have a plan. It's just that time of the year. I fully agree. So, Drew, I already answered that one. Okay, so how much for Conway? A generalized 2 to 4 inches of rain across the area. All right, locally higher amounts could be possible, especially where the thunderstorms kind of train over the same area, where you could see 4, 5, 6 inches of rainfall across the area. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind for tonight. If any flash flood warnings get issued, folks, okay, please turn around and do not drown in these areas. Okay, please do that. All right, if you come across a flash flood warning, do not go over flooded roadways tonight here. Yes, Nashville is going to be impacted, folks. As I said before, all the information is going to be on the page, but this is going to go for southwestern Arkansas. So I'm going to go back to our severe weather outlook for tonight here. Okay, so bear with me for just a bit. This is the tornado risk, okay? And we'll talk about this too because I know it's a very low threat, especially for central and southwest Arkansas. But you still cannot let your guard down at this point, okay? So Nashville, yes, it is still going to be on the table. We're talking about potential damaging winds, hail. I cannot rule out an isolated tornado or two down there in southwestern Arkansas for tonight here. Michelle, up there in Mountain Home, very, very low threat. A very, very low threat of severe weather, if you even see anything at all. I think up there is mainly going to be heavy rainfall, maybe some locally strong winds up there, maybe a little bit of hail, but it shouldn't be anything too significant up there in northern Arkansas because you're getting away from the instability, okay? So the storm's coming in at 3 p.m. We will watch it, but right now the warm front is south of Arkansas. So any storms we get north of the warm front won't be severe because you won't have the instability for it. But we will have to watch for maybe some hail, but it shouldn't be anything. It shouldn't be anything significant at this point. Okay, Jessica, we appreciate that comment. I know you're trying to prepare. I wasn't trying to like bash or anything. I was just saying down there in southwest Arkansas, that threat is still on the table down there here. And folks, also, if y'all have any questions, especially for localized areas, feel free to inbox us as well, especially if you're a dispatcher or whatever. Feel free to inbox us because I know a lot of people are on spring break trying to prepare and everything like that here. So just feel free to inbox us, guys. But it is definitely on the table down there in southwest Arkansas for tonight here. So it's really windy and Mayflower right now. I know the moisture's coming in. The winds are going to pick up this afternoon and this evening as our storm system gets going. And folks, it is a powerhouse system to our west here, guys. This system is definitely going to bring severe weather across the southern plains here over the next 2 days across here. So also, one more thing I want to get out is if you know anyone in East Texas, there's a moderate risk down there. Please tell them to review their severe weather plans like now. Okay, they're going to be seeing significant severe weather down there and potential of a significant tornado outbreak on the table for eastern Texas, okay? Also, there is a page I told you guys about, Southern Plains Weather Authority. If one of my team members can tag them in the comments, I fully appreciate it. But they will keep you guys informed for regional areas. So if you know anyone in Texas, Louisiana, or into Mississippi, tell them, go follow that page. They will keep you guys informed on the regional areas, okay? Us here in Arkansas, we'll keep you guys informed here in the state. So the Perigo area said before, a generalized 2 to 4. A generalized 2 to 4 inches of rain, some locally higher amounts here. So don't pay attention to just the higher amounts. The 2 to 4 is definitely going to be on the table, okay? But some localized areas you can see down here in southern Arkansas, southeast, that's where you can see the potential of probably 4 or 5, maybe in some cases, depending on what a thunderstorm stall out, you may make a run for a half a foot of rainfall down there. I'm really worried about the flash flooding potential down there in southwestern Arkansas. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and talk about this. I'm going to see if I can switch this over to our WPC outlook here. So this is for tonight. We're going to get this up here. It should be popping up real quickly here, okay? So there's for tonight here, okay? So with the area you see in orange, it's a slight risk, and then the area you see in red, this is the WPC outlook, by the way, okay? This is not the severe weather outlook, but this is the area I'm concerned about the potential of very heavy rainfall down here in southwestern Arkansas for tonight here. And then you can see by the time we get towards tomorrow, this shifts to the east, okay? This shifts into Mississippi and into Alabama, down Louisiana here, but it does clip southeastern Arkansas, the slight risk for eastern, and then the marginal risk across the area here. So to repeat, this is not the severe weather outlook. This is the WPC outlook for tonight into tomorrow. That's for the potential of seeing very heavy rainfall across the area. Okay, so Brian, the above area should be good. Yes, I'm just saying, up there in northern and northeastern Arkansas, you will have the potential of some strong thunderstorms up there. Will carry the potential of maybe some hail, damaging winds, etc. But the tornado threat should be greater down in southwestern Arkansas here. But up there in northern Arkansas, these storms are going to be loud. There's a lot of what's called a loft instability in play for tonight here, okay? I'll be up watching this system, hopefully no tornadoes. The wind potential in central Arkansas, I would say a generalized area, the wind threat's going to be there. That's just the power of this system. It's going to get really, really breezy for tonight here, okay? As a matter of fact, I can switch it over. Bear with me for just a bit. I can switch this over to the wind potential for tonight here. So give me 1 second. See if I can get that over here real fast, okay? So let's talk about that real quickly, okay? So we're going to go back to like 3 o'clock in the morning. And that's going to be loading up here just shortly. But here's the wind potential. So you can see the orange is kind of showing the 30 to 40 mile per hour winds here. And you can see what I'm talking about, okay? As a matter of fact, you go HLR, you're talking 40 to 45 mile per hour wind gusts. Okay, so the generalized area is where you're going to see the potential of, let me go back here. Let me see if I can go back to the radar. I totally forgot radar wasn't up for a second. So this is what I'm talking about here, okay? So this is the generalized area that you're seeing for the potential wind for tonight, okay? So regardless of thunderstorm activity at night, it's going to be really breezy for the night here. That's just how powerful this system is coming out of the west here, okay? So you see what I'm talking about here, right here, 40, 45, and even in some cases near 50 mile per hour wind gusts, non-thunderstorm wind gusts for tonight here, okay? Thunderstorm wind gusts could potentially 60, 70 miles per hour, so keep that in mind for tonight here, especially for our folks down there in southern and southwestern Arkansas, all right? So keep that in mind for tonight. These are non-thunderstorm winds, by the way. That's just the power of the system coming out from the west here. It's a very, very strong system coming out from the west here, all right? So I'm up in north central Arkansas. The wind is howling. Thank you for that report. The wind is going to be howling tonight, guys. I promise you. It does not mean that the storms are going to be severe, okay? Severe storms occur when a thunderstorm produces 58 mile per hour wind gusts or higher. This is non-thunderstorm winds, by the way, okay? Those are non-thunderstorm winds that you're seeing. So 30 to 40 mile per hour generalized locally higher 40 to 50 mile per hour. That's right, Futurecast is trying to throw out at this point, and that's right around midnight, 11 o'clock to midnight tonight here, okay? So definitely breezy conditions across the area here. Very, very strong wind gusts across the area. We're talking easily 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts across the area. So the winds are going to be picking up. We got wind gusts right now sustained right around 15 miles per hour, gusts up to 25 miles per hour here in the Weather Center at this point, okay? So yes, the severe threat in particular is going to be south of Independence County, okay? Independence County will still see strong thunderstorms here. I'm betting tonight there's going to be a lot of people asking about, is this storm severe? Is this storm severe? Folks, unless there's a warning that goes out for that storm, it's not severe. These storms are going to be loud. They're going to be carrying a lot of wind with them tonight, especially up there in northern Arkansas and then down into central and southwest Arkansas, okay? Keep that in mind for tonight. We don't mind answering questions, but I'm telling you guys now, up there in northern Arkansas, the severe threat is very low, but you will see that strong thunderstorm potential up there for tonight here, okay? So northwest Arkansas up there, you guys aren't going to see much in the way of severe weather, but to get towards Wednesday morning, you guys could see a little bit of snow up there in northwestern Arkansas. So just kind of keep that in mind up there in northwest Arkansas. We'll talk about that once we get past tonight's event here. So let me reiterate, because I totally realized you guys did not see the WPC outlook for tonight here. So let me go back to it real quick. Okay, so this is the WPC outlook for tonight. I'm going to go back over to day one real quick. So day one is this. Okay, so like I said before, this is not the severe threat that you're seeing. Okay, this is the WPC's outlook that you're seeing. This is the excessive heavy rainfall outlook that you're seeing right now. Okay, so marginal risk for much of the state. Okay, the slight risk for excessive heavy rainfall across central and western Arkansas, and then the moderate risk down into southern Arkansas at this point. This is for excessive heavy rainfall. Okay, this is going to go for the potential of flash flooding, not severe weather. Okay, this is not for severe weather. This is for the potential of heavy rainfall down here in southwestern Arkansas. Okay, and then this takes out to day two. Day two goes into eastern Arkansas, but it clips for southeastern Arkansas at this point. And honestly, I would not rule out this thing getting backed up towards the west, and including more areas across eastern Arkansas at moderate risk for seeing the potential excessive heavy rainfall across the area here. Michelle, that is a great comment, okay? All the wind and the rain, especially the heavy rainfall, could lead to some down trees, especially down there in southwestern Arkansas, because you guys, trees down there, you're in a drought, right? So your trees are a lot weaker than up there in central and northern Arkansas, okay? And all it takes, damaging winds, heavy rainfall, especially significant rainfall falling at a very quick pace, that's what could lead to a few down trees down there. So kind of keep that in mind for tonight. As I said before, we're not expecting this thing to be a major outbreak. It's not going to be a major outbreak, but it shouldn't take a severe weather outbreak for you to be prepared. Okay, it shouldn't take that at all. Even a low risk of severe weather, you should always be prepared for that. Okay, so Jay just now tuning in. Also, thank you guys for being here. By the way, I got about 300, 400 people on this live stream right now. I appreciate y'all. If y'all can do me a favor, let's share this. Facebook algorithms for us have been a pain in the behind. It's been delaying the notifications and everything. So the more y'all share this, the more y'all comment, the more it's going to get out to folks here. Okay, so I do fully appreciate y'all for doing that. If y'all can keep doing that, I'd really appreciate it. Let me see here. Going over a few more questions here, guys. I'm going over everything at this point. Let me see here. Okay, so Brian, I've already answered that question here. Cave City, I've already answered that one. Trina, would the lights go out due to the wind? I can't rule that out, especially in southwest Arkansas. I will have to keep an eye on that for tonight here. But as I said before here, for tonight, that line of storms is going to be pushing through starting in western Arkansas, going into central and then into eastern Arkansas for tonight. Damaging winds, hail, and that tornado potential is on the table for tonight. Let's reiterate this one more time, and then I'm going to answer a few more questions, and then I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here, okay? So we're going to go back to this, okay? So we're going to go back over to our severe weather outlook real quick, okay? So the marginal risk goes from just south of Fort Smith to Mena, over to Little Rock, down towards Dumas in southeastern Arkansas. The slight risk goes from, I would say, Nashville to Arkadelphia, down towards Warren, and then down towards Crossing, okay? And there's now, especially in far southwestern Arkansas, the Miller and Lafayette County areas, those are the areas that are under the enhanced risk for the potential wind, not tornadoes, but for the potential damaging winds here, okay? So the enhanced risk kind of comes into far southwestern Arkansas at this point. It just barely gets into far southwestern Arkansas. But as I said before, you don't need an enhanced plus to be prepared for severe weather, okay? So kind of keep that in mind, okay? So large hail potential for tonight, low wind threat, okay? Please do not let your guard down, folks, okay? I cannot stress this enough. A low wind threat can still produce. I know it. I've chased marginal risk. I've chased slight risk before, okay? That can still produce severe weather. Just because it's a low threat doesn't mean it's not worth talking about, okay? So this is what everybody's here for, the tornado threat, okay? Southwestern Arkansas, the greater area at this point, all right? From Nashville to Texarkana to Camden to El Dorado, that 5%, what I call 5% magic, right? The low threat for the potential of seeing tornadoes down there in southwestern Arkansas. Then 2% from Little Rock to Mena down towards Warren and Crossett. That's the area we're going to have to wait and see on what happens. But the tornado threat will gradually get lower and lower as you get later into the overnight hours here. However, we're going to watch it. The damaging wind threat will increase, but your tornado threat will decrease throughout the overnight hours here. But the evening, I would say roughly 7, 8 o'clock to about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, that's going to be the time frame down there in southwest Arkansas to kind of watch and wait and see what happens for that tornado threat, okay? But as said before, this tornado threat, I know the greater threat is southwest of Arkansas. I know the majority is in eastern Texas right now, but do not let your guard down in southwestern Arkansas for tonight here. As to repeat, if any warnings go out, we will be here, okay? And in your damaging wind threat right now, marginal risk from just south of Fort Smith, the Little Rock, down towards, I would say, the just south of Helena, West Helena. Then you have your slight risk from, I would say, Texarkana over towards Camden, Magnolia, El Dorado, smack over the Callion area, and over towards Crossett at this point, okay? So let me see here. It's a tornado threat mainly going to be in Texas, Mississippi. For the most part, yes, Kevin. But as said before, do not let your guard down here in Arkansas. That is a great comment. I just saw it, Dustin. Thank you for that comment. Preach it. Tornadoes do not care about percentages at all. Okay, I've seen stuff happen even outside of a 2%. Okay, they do not care about percentages. All right, they only if the environment is favorable for it, then it will happen. Okay, they do not care about risk areas. They do not care about percentages. Okay, this is simply confidence. All right, the confidence is higher in Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi for seeing a tornado outbreak. But the lower confidence is here in Arkansas, in southwest Arkansas, okay? So kind of keep that in mind for tonight here. Let me go back to the tornado threat real quick, okay? So keep this in mind for tonight, folks. Also, one more thing. Don't focus on just the tornado threat with this, okay? There's more to severe weather than just tornadoes. There's damaging wind threat. There's the heavy rainfall threat, the flash flooding threat, and then the large hail threat for tonight here as well, okay? Keep that in mind for tonight here, folks. Do not focus on just the tornado threat, because I know a lot of people see the areas that are outside the green. They're not worried about it too much, okay? As I said before, the tornado threat is going to decrease by the time we get towards the overnight hours, but the damaging wind and the flash flooding threat will be there, okay? Keep that in mind for tomorrow morning as well, because I know rush hour, first thing in the morning, everyone's going to be trying to go to work, etc. Keep that in mind for tomorrow, especially in southwest and central and southern Arkansas. The flooding threat is on the table. Turn around and do not drown in these areas. Do not ignore that flash flooding threat for tonight. Sabrina, that'd be a great idea. Just kind of keep your phones on, keep them charged, just to be on the safe side here. Dustin said before, I appreciate that comment, brother. Let me see. Here's Northern Arkansas, Southern Missouri. Up there, in terms of severe weather, you're good, okay? The strong thunderstorm potential will be on the table up there in northern Arkansas. However, keep in mind, this is an evolving event here, okay? Things, as I talked about before, I talk this about all the time. On day one, things change quick, okay? Remember, about 2 days ago, the tornado threat was in East Texas, okay? Keep that in mind, okay? The tornado threat was in East Texas 2 days ago. We were not concerned about severe weather here at all 2 days ago. You're looking at day 1 now, and now you're talking a majority of central and southwestern Arkansas. So these things evolve very, very quickly. That's why we're telling you guys now, kind of keep it tuned with this, guys. We'll keep you guys updated. We're not going anywhere at this point here. Stacy, I do agree. And I said before, if y'all need that information in Texas, please check out Southern Plains Weather Authority. As a matter of fact, I'm going to see if I can tag that page real quickly here so you guys can see. Give me 1 second here. Okay. Let me see here. Okay. So, let's see if I can tag their page real quickly, guys. Okay. Okay. Give me 1 second. Alright. So, I'm going to see about tagging their page on the comments here, guys. But, as I said before here, if you need that information for tonight here, please check them out as well here, okay? We'll be here. There it is. Okay, there's the tag. Alright. Alright, so that's the tag here. I'm going to go ahead and pin that up here. If y'all need that information from the regional areas, we're talking Texas, Mississippi, Louisiana, check out that page that's just been pinned, okay? Please take that in mind, okay? Those guys, they work their behinds off, keeping you guys informed down there in Texas and Louisiana and also Mississippi as well here, okay? So, let me see here. Very, very windy conditions here. Winds right now. Let's go over and talk about that real quickly. Okay, so I'm going to go back to this real fast. Okay, so I'm going to turn this off. Okay, and we're going to go back over to our mesoscale real quick. Okay, so this is going to show the current wind gusts across the area. And I hear it outside the weather center right now. Wind gusts 20-25 miles per hour. Okay, so as I said before, this is the winds right now are picking up here. As you can see, right around 15 to 20 miles per hour here, locally higher, especially in eastern Arkansas right now here. Okay, so the wind gust is definitely on the table right now. It's definitely going at this point. It's going to gradually increase throughout the day here, okay? So, let me see here. What about the severe threat tomorrow here? Bradley, thank you for that. Let's talk about that, okay? So, the severe threat for tomorrow here is in far southeastern Arkansas, all right? Let's talk about that, all right? So, the severe threat is in far southeastern Arkansas, but you can see here, look, once again, your severe threat, your enhanced risk includes far southeast Arkansas, far southeast Chico County, okay? But the marginal risk goes from much of eastern Arkansas down into southern Arkansas, and then you have your slight risk for far southeastern Arkansas as well here, okay? So kind of keep that in mind at this point, all right? There's the slight risk, there's the enhanced risk down here, far southeastern Arkansas, and then there is the marginal risk for tomorrow as well here, okay? So let me go back over real quick. I totally forgot I had this thing taken down here. Let me switch this back over to this, okay? So this is for tomorrow, okay? So zoom this down and show you guys this one more time, all right? So there's the marginal risk for eastern Arkansas, down into southern Arkansas, your slight risk from Crossett to Greenville, and then your enhanced risk in far southeastern Chico County for tomorrow, okay? So just kind of keep that in mind at this point here, okay? So tomorrow, the threat for severe weather is much greater across Louisiana and in Mississippi, okay? This is where the enhanced to moderate risk is here, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. So you're down there in Mississippi, if you're hearing me right now, I cannot rule out a high risk, okay? I can't rule it out. Let's talk. I'm going to zoom this out so you guys can see, okay? So this is tomorrow. All right, far eastern and southeastern Arkansas is going to be the target for tomorrow here for low-end severe weather. But for our folks in Mississippi, Louisiana, for tomorrow here, keep this in mind. I cannot rule out a high risk, a very small high risk in this area once we get a good amount of data at this point here, okay? So if you know anyone from Jackson to Macomb, down to Lafayette, down in Louisiana, give them a heads up, folks, here. They're going to be in for a long evening as we get towards tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening, guys. But back here in Arkansas, as you can see, the marginal risk from eastern down into southern Arkansas, and then the slight risk over here, and then the enhanced risk in this area as well. The significant tornado parameters at this point, as obvious, greater across Mississippi, Louisiana, down into western Alabama at this time here. But you can see it does touch far southeastern Arkansas at this point. If that gets expanded further to the north and west, We will be here tomorrow, okay? As you can see, this is the tornado parameters for tomorrow as well. 2% from El Dorado up towards Clarksdale to 5% in southeastern Arkansas, and then the enhanced risk. The enhanced risk for far southeastern Arkansas here towards Chico County, and then the greater threat. You can see the 10% and even a 15% now from Jackson down to Lafayette County here. Bradley, how did we dodge it? It's just because of the tilt of the system. Had this system been about a good 200 miles to the northwest, this would have been over Arkansas. This is what we were worried about last week when we were telling you guys the severe threat was on the table. Okay? Luckily for us, it is to our south and east. Okay? We dodged a bullet here in Arkansas with this event. Okay? But, as I said before, we still got all the spring we got to get through first here, guys. But you can see 15% down here south in Mississippi, down into western and southeastern, eastern Louisiana, southeastern Louisiana, and into central and southwestern Mississippi for tomorrow. The 10% does touch far southeastern Arkansas for tomorrow, and then your 5% and then your 2% across the area. Let's zoom this out a little bit further so you guys can see this. And by the way, to talk to you guys about this event as well, this is how massive this tornado threat is. It goes from all the way in northeastern Alabama down into far southern Texas. Okay, this is a very, very, very big risk for tornadoes for tomorrow here. So not only for us here in Arkansas, but Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, all these areas. This is going to be a very long next 48 hours across the board here, guys. So just keep that in mind. I know a lot of people are on spring break. Our fellow Arkansans are down there for spring break. Give them their heads up, folks. Please give them a heads up. Potential of a significant tornado outbreak on the table as we get towards tomorrow here, down here in Mississippi, Alabama, down in Louisiana, and it's for us here in Arkansas. We're lucky, but southeastern Arkansas, we will keep you guys informed if anything happens throughout the day tomorrow here, guys. So if y'all have any more questions, please let me know. What about Conway County for tonight here? We're going to have all the information on the page, okay? So if you need specific timing for specific cities or counties, take a look at our page. We're going to have all the information for you guys here, okay? Sandy, I've already gone over to Queen, southwestern Arkansas, damaging winds, hail, tornado threat, and the flooding threat is on the table for tonight here, guys, okay? So that's all I got for you guys at this point. As I said before, if you know anybody that's in Texas, Louisiana, or in Mississippi, give them a heads up. Tell them to review their severe weather plans for tonight here. A severe/tornado outbreak is on the table for our folks here down there in Louisiana and Mississippi. Let's take this back home for just a bit for today. As you can see, over there in East Texas, where the significant tornado threat is at this point here. But the low threat does come into southwest Arkansas for tonight here, guys. So we'll continue to keep you guys updated right here in your source for all things Arkansas weather.